MX Bikes has dominated the motocross gaming community, but what if I told you a new game is coming that is going to fix everything on paper that's wrong with MX Bikes? We are talking about Motocross The Game, baby. Before we get started on this comparison, I want to let you know Motocross The Game is still in development, so everything isn't final. However, we're going to do a comparison on graphics, physics, multiplayer, and so much more. Graphically, Motocross The Game wins by an absolute landslide. As you can tell from this footage, it is absolutely stunning. The environments, the lighting, the overall presentation, and just the detail in the bike and rider looks so good. If you compare it to MX Bikes, it's not even close. You can have as many mods as you want in MX Bikes, but it's still not even comparing to Motocross The Game. So for that, I give Motocross The Game 1 point. This is where the entire battle could seriously be decided. The physics and riding portion of a motocross game make or break it. With MX Bikes, it is insanely difficult to learn, extremely frustrating, and sometimes feels like it personally wants to just ruin your entire day. But once you learn how to control the bike and flow with the track, it is something that is so satisfying and rewarding, along with learning how to scrub, whip, and just lean the thing over is just, oh my goodness, it just makes me so happy even thinking about it. The question is Motocross The Game going to feel the same way? Us riders want to feel a bike that is not restricted or feel blocky, and I feel like MX Bikes is the only game that hasn't felt that way. If Motocross The Game is able to make the bike feel free and make it how we ride in real life, that is the ultimate A+. But until then, I'm going to have to give it a tie between MX Bikes and Motocross The Game, because Motocross The Game looks really good and promising, like it has the physics of MX Bikes, but I don't know for sure until we test it further. This is probably MX Bike's biggest advantage. The community has created a massive amount of content, replica tracks, fantasy tracks, bikes, gear, helmets, boots, sound mods, graphic kits. If you get bored, you can simply download a completely different track, a completely different set of gear, and go rip like you were completely starting out for the first time. That open community is a huge reason, in my opinion, that MX Bikes has survived as long as it has. Motocross The Game is planning on releasing motocross, supercross, and enduro tracks, along with bike and rider customization. However, it is a live service game, meaning most of its content will probably be controlled and released by the developers. Unless Motocross The Game eventually supports serious community created content, I don't see it beating MX Bikes in this category. For that reason, MX Bikes gets the point. Accessibility is where Motocross The Game is going to seriously shine and dominate the market. MX Bikes is currently built around that PC platform for newer guys who are wanting to rip, figure out the controls, find mods, and install bikes and tracks, and just figure out how the heck to stay upright for more than 11 seconds. For hardcore players, that challenge is super fun and part of the game, but for the average guy who just wants to get on the bike in the game and go rip some laps with his buddies, it's infuriating in MX Bikes. So Motocross The Game is planning for PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S with crossplay. That alone is enough to have me buy it, for the simple fact being I'm not going to be up against only sweats in the game. It gives access to a much larger audience, and it should be much easier for friends to download the game and immediately start racing and taking each other out. It's also planning on doing split screen play, which is something we almost never see anymore. For accessibility and mainstream potential, Motocross The Game easily takes this point. Online racing is a huge part of any motocross game. In MX Bikes, you can see all the glitched out servers right here, and then when we actually find a server and get into a race, we're excited, we're going off after the whole shot, we fail. But take a look at this. I mean, everything just falls apart and turns into an arcade game basically over a sim. I mean, at the start, people are flying up in the air, and yes, that can happen in real life, but the majority of it, you're not going to have literally a bomb explode of bikes flying quite like that, and the realism just does not feel like it is there at all. It feels super arcadey and clunky, and like I said previously, Pyboso has no intention of improving the game whatsoever, considering the community is literally doing everything. With Motocross the Game, I really genuinely feel like they're going after an esports or a competitive approach where it's like, yes, we're going to have racing, but we're going to make sure it's clean and fair, considering everything is going to be cross-platform. There's going to be ranked matchmaking so that it's more of a fair motocross game and races. It's kind of unfair with these people that are spending a ton of money on suspension setups and all these things, and then for the guys that just want to race and not have to be super sweaty and put 800 hours into the game to be good, it just does not like feel fair in my opinion. So I'm really hoping Motocross the Game delivers on this and makes it a lot more even playing field throughout platforms and not so much as a paid basis. However, with Motocross the Game, there is going to be multiplayer ranked mode where you have to pay a monthly subscription in order to actually play ranked gameplay in races. And I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it's kind of a money grab, but at the same time, for the guys that are actually legitimately wanting to be super competitive, kind of like in MX bikes, I feel like it's a great way to weed out just the nonchalant guys, for the guys that actually want to be doing this for ranked in esports. So I would have to say for this one, as of right now, MX Bikes gets the point because they do have good ranked lobbies that you don't have to pay for, and Motocross the Game does not have multiplayer set up yet. So the real question is Motocross the Game going to take over MX Bikes? And I want to know in the comment section below what you guys think, along with, are you going to be buying Motocross the Game as soon as it comes out, or are you going to be sticking to MX Bikes? I can tell you right now, Motocross the Game is going to be super easy to plug and play per se versus download a ton of mods. However, there isn't that customization, so I'm curious to hear from you guys what you think, and I cannot wait to talk to you in the next one. Remember, Jesus loves you, so do I. Verse of the day is happening right now. I'd say for the final verdict though, I have a good feeling Motocross the Game is going to be taking quite a few MX Bikes players.